Hi, and welcome back. In my experience, I find that pattern brushes save me so much time. The setup may take a little while, but you only need to do this once, and the results are always amazing. If you're organized and you stick to my suggested sizes, you will find that you have a seamless work process. As I've said before, this frees you up to get those amazing and creative ideas down in a fashion that helps you hit the ground running. A working sketch that you complete quickly with reusable components. Often others cannot visualize the changes like we do, so you need to get back to them with revised sketches fast. In this video, I will demonstrate how to create and load your own start and end tiles for the pattern brushes. This is understandably not an automatic process, as the corner tiles are. So, I'll start with the zip brush. This comprises of 3 tiles as well. There will be a start tile, an end tile, and no corner tiles. Similar to the bespoke brush I just demonstrated in the introduction. There are many styles of zip. I will be doing a basic metal zip. I'll do 3 versions. I'll do a closed zip, an open zip with a start tile only, and a side view. Let's start by creating the side tile. I'll first draw a rectangle, 1 mm wide and 2.5 mm high. I'll use a grey fill and a black stroke. I'm going to change the placement of the stroke on this rectangle to the inside of the path. In the stroke panel, show options, and the 3rd row down is the align option. Align the stroke to the inside and make that stroke weight 0.25. Next, I'll copy this to the right 3 more times. Remember, your keyboard increments is the width of the rectangle, so 1 mm. I'll select the 2nd and 4th rectangle and move these down 1 mm. And I've completed the side tile. I'll do the end tile next, as this is the easier tile to do. I'll copy the tile to the right, clear of the original drawing, and delete 2 of the teeth. I'm drawing a rectangle 2 mm wide by 3.5 mm high, and I'll eyedrop the zip teeth to give this new rectangle the same fill and stroke properties. I'm lining this rectangle up with the zip teeth, and that's the end tile done. Now for the start tile and the zip pull. I'll copy the side tile to the left, clear of the first tile. Now I'll copy the zip end and line this up on the other side of the teeth I've just copied. I'm drawing an ellipse, and I'm going to vertical center align it with the rectangle. To make sure that the rectangle does not move when I align the ellipse, I'm selecting both the rectangle and the ellipse, and then I click onto the rectangle once again to make it the key object. Now I'll align the ellipse. Once that is done, I'll make these 2 shapes into one shape and adjust it to look like the base of a zip pull. I'm using a combination of the direct selection tool, the corner widgets, and the anchor point tool. Have a look. Now I'll do the bar. I'll just draw a straight line, adjust the stroke weight to 3 points, and make the end points a round cap. Now I'll expand the stroke to create a shape, and eyedrop one of the other pieces to copy the properties again. The zip pull is created by drawing a rectangle. I use the scale tool, keyboard shortcut S, to adjust the end of the zip pull and make that wider symmetrically. I'll select the 2 anchor points on the right side of the rectangle, choose my scale tool and adjust them. Have a look. I'll drag the cursor vertically as this tool locks the movement into an X or Y axis if the two anchor points selected are aligned. I'll quickly curve the corners and finish this now. I've put a few more zip pull variations into the file that you'll have access to at the beginning of the next lesson. The zip brush is ready to create now. Take note of how I add the start and end tile to the brush stroke. I first load the side tile and the zip brush options. Once that is done, I drag the start tile to the brush's panel and press the Alt Option key at the same time to highlight the tile I want to add. So, the start tile is the second tile from the left. Remember how the tile is indicated with a darker line around it, as it did in the Brogue brush. I'll do the same with the end tile. Now, I'll do the single teeth, so you can draw an open end zip like this one. I'll copy the side tile and create a rectangle that follows the repeat and send this to the back. I'll make another copy of this. In the first tile, I'll delete the two top teeth. This is my side tile. In the copy, I will delete one tooth and move the first one down and curve the edge of it. This is my start tile. All other instructions are as before. Now for the side view. This is the view when the zip is at the center back of a shoe and we're looking at the side view. I'll make a copy of the first brush and adjust this. Have a look at how I do this. I'm using a combination of my direct selection tool and anchor point tool. I'm sure you have the idea by now. Before I go further, let me just say, when we're adding a zip pull to the brush, it will depend on how you want this to sit in the drawing. If I want it to sit at an angle, I will apply it afterwards and not include it in the brush stroke. Have a look at this example. The next brush I'll do is the chain brush. There are so many styles of chain. I will do a simple link. In this brush, I'm going to demonstrate how using different shades of grey can add interest and depth to a brush with very little effort. You can see this in the example I have here. I have also used a line width profile. I'll start with drawing an ellipse. I'll give you a measurement so we can get the same result, and then you can do your own version or versions. I'll select the ellipse tool, click onto the work area and type 3 mm wide by 2 mm high in the dialog box. I'll make it a stroke only and make that stroke 1.5 points. Now, I'll copy it 2 more times to the left with a 2mm keyboard increment. I'll change the color of each shape so you can see this better. I'm going to make the center link height about 1mm, and I'm going to vertical center align the 3 ellipses. The important thing to note here is that the shapes should have a clear gap between them, and the center ellipse is on top. Now, I'll expand these lines or outline stroke so they are filled shapes. I'll select all 3 ellipses and use my shape builder to divide the shapes up. Watch carefully at the order and depth of grey. I've used the lightest grey for the foremost shape, the middle top link, a middle grey for the side links, and a deep grey for the back of the middle link. This will give the chain a bit of dimension. I'll copy these groups of links 2 more times. Each copy must be well clear of the last one. I will now delete half of the ellipse on the left side of the side tile and the far right of the start tile. Similarly, I'll do this on the right side of the side tile and on the far left of the end tile. The start and side tiles are complete, and I'm going to add a bead to the end tile. I'll do this using a combination of the tools we've used in this brush. Now that that's complete, I'll add a line to it using the line width profile. The line width profile is located in the stroke panel when you show options, or in the control panel at the top of the screen under the label Variable Width Profile. I'll use the first one. I'll now create a pattern brush with the Tints and Shades colorization method, and I'll apply this to a line. What do you think of the varying greys? This is a really simple way to add depth. In conclusion, the start and end tiles really help finish the overall appearance of the brush. Why don't you have a play with your zip brush and see if different grey tones can add to the depth of this? You can go to the next lesson and download my file with different zip and chain styles and drag them out of the brush library and examine them. I often do this, and it gives me lots of new ideas. I also Google images and use these to guide me with different variations. I did this with the different zip styles. In lesson 2, I'll demonstrate the scatter brush to you.